Greetings, my fellow brothers and sisters, my fellow adventurers. Here's the chat VonDragonheart and welcome back to my channel. Now, a few weeks ago, I have promised that after we beat Winter Assault with all the races, I would make a top 10 list about my favorite MMORPGs. So here we are now. It's Monday today, so I will do it today. Now guys, I will have to tell you guys that it will be a really unorthodox MMORPG list. I will going to list here my top 10 favorite MMORPGs, but it is not a free-to-play or buy-to-play exclusive list. It is just my top 10, and one game is no longer playable. They still trying to revive it, but I just wanted to make a top 10 list about the games which really sticked with me and which I hold dear. Also, I had to cut this video in two parts because I had to make a video for 15 minutes and the video is far longer than that. So now you are going to get the first part this Monday, and on the next Monday you will get the second part. Sorry for this, but I hope that you guys will still going to enjoy this video. I do hope that you are going to find an MMORPG on my list that you will enjoy as much as I did. But without further ado, let's get to the top 10. Number 10. Lord of the Rings Online. Well, ask yourself the questions. Do you like fantasy? Do you like MMORPGs? Do you like Lord of the Rings? And do you like Middle-earth? If your answers to all of these questions is yes, then without a doubt, this game is quite frankly the only real game which can give you a ticket to Middle-earth. Now, it's just a basic MMORPG with normal skills like back in Vanilla WoW, but while the graphics are a bit dated, it still gives you what it was set out to achieve, a chance for us to go to Middle-earth. And while many players left, it still holds a very few but dedicated and frankly quite nice community. The soundtrack itself is top-notch. While it does not necessarily has any of the tracks from the movies, it still holds a quite memorable and quite a nice track, which fits to Middle-earth. And as I said, the combat itself is quite basic like it was back with the old MMORPGs, but it's quite nice and it's quite a spectacle to behold. Now, it's a free-to-play game until level 20, from which you will have to pay to level in the game. Mainly pay for the expansions, then you can keep leveling up until the expansions lasted. So then you have to buy the next expansion to level up the highest level that that expansion had, and so on and so forth. So if you guys are into the old types of MMORPGs, then check this one out. It might be old, but it didn't lose its charm.
You shall not pay!
Number 9. Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking. The online version of the legendary Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 only gets to the 9th number on your list? What is wrong with you, man? But let me explain, guys. Now, many years ago, the game launched. Well, and I had the fortune of playing with the beta as well, but we'll get to that. And now the game launched as a pay-to-play game. Well, at least after level 15. You could level up until level 15, but after that you will have to pay. Then it went to free to play, where it lost many of the features, free features if you have paid, and it became a subscribe to pay game where you could only unlock races by either spending cash that you can buy with real money, or you subscribe and level up to level 60, after which you can pretty much have the race for yourself. And sub-to-play effect is not necessarily that dire here. You will get to level up faster, you will get to experience all the other races, and it's not that bad. But the main reason why I could suggest for you to play this game is because, not just because it's a free-to-play game, with heavy emphasis on the story. And while we have a few choices here and there, now it's not as deep as it was in Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, but the real reason why I want you to try this game out, because it had, well, sadly just had, a great advantage over any other RPG games, is the role-playing community. You didn't play Star Wars The Old Republic for the MMO part of it, but only because of the RPG part, the roleplay part. Not just because of the story, which gets better and better every year, we get more and more expansions, for which you have to pay for, but that's not the point. The point is that the roleplay aspect of this game was just amazing. I can list dozens of times when low-level people just were running around the starter zones and either became Padawans when they started Jedis, gang members when they were bounty hunters, or Sith apprentices when they were on Korriban and wanted to become Sith. But nowadays they took away this free speaking and raised it to normal players, to regular players who don't pay, to level 22, and this kind of killed the starter low-leveled roleplays. This game would have been higher on my list if this didn't happen, because roleplay part of the game was the main reason why I came back always to the game. And now that they took this away, I don't know what to say. Still, I can highly recommend for you to try it out, because the combat system on its own is quite well paced and quite unique, really Star Wars themed. And the story itself deserves a chance as well. If you like the old RPGs, this is amazing try for you. But I would recommend you to play on a roleplay server, and when you get the chance, go and enjoy a few role-playing sessions. Be a Jedi, be a Padawan, or a gang member, or be a Sith apprentice. Just try it out. Role-playing is an amazing thing, and you should try it out. I'm going to make a video about role-playing sooner or later where I will explain the details why it's amazing. But for now, we have to move forward to number 8. Also guys, a piece of advice. Do not underestimate the power of the dark side, or you will pay for your lack of vision.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Number 8. Elder Scrolls Online, a buy-to-play MMORPG set in the Elder Scrolls universe. Now, it's a fun game. Let's give it that. And I see a lot of potential in it. That's why I hooked on to it. With the amazing, well, even quite good graphics, the amazing story, the gameplay, which is quite a unique hybrid between the RPG that it had and now the MMORPG that it is now. And the choices that we have in the story, it's amazing as well, and it got better with each expansion that we got to the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, the only reason why this game is number 8 is that, well, I have Oblivion and Skyrim, which did the same things, just better. Of course, we didn't have the MMORPG, but everything else was better. Better graphics, well, at least with mods, better gameplay, and an endless amount of content, where unlike in Elder Scrolls Online, our choices did matter. Does it have a good role-playing community? Well, I don't know, but what I do know, that the PvP here, the player versus player, is awesome. But if you want a better PvP game, there will be one higher on the list, which can give you a better experience. In the end, to whom would I recommend this game? To the people who love Tamriel and want to see everything in it. And, well, the PvP on its own is quite fun. Because only these sort of people will find the game interesting. Only these people who want PvP and want to experience the whole Tamriel, they will be the only ones who will find what they're looking for. But to those who want impactful stories and a bit better gameplay, just go back to play Skyrim. We even have a few expansion-sized mods here and there, and sooner or later we probably will going to get an online mod for it as well.
In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Number 7. Return of Reckoning. Now, you see, there was a game called Age of Reckoning, which was like, well, at least mechanic-wise, like World of Warcraft, but in the Warhammer universe. Now, and then it got shut down. Then some people brought it back to life, and now you can explore it for free. Well, you have to go to their site and download the game, but it's a free-to-play game now, supported by only the devs who brought it back. Now, it may have dated graphics, but it has a nice looking world, which is interesting, an old combat system like vanilla WoW had, and pretty much all the old MMORPGs have it, but with unique playstyle to it. And it's for free, of course. Now, you might be asking, where's the catch? And to that I would say that I have heard so many horrible things, how certain players were treated badly by elitists, and there is an endless list of reports and proof of this on Reddit and other places like that. And the only problem why I can't say it for sure, because I only have heard of this. But I play on the Disorder side, where we actually have quite nice people, quite a helping community. Now, I have heard that this is only on the Order side, so those people who want to play as regular humans for the Empire, for the Wood Elves and so on and so forth, they might have to deal with these elitists, but I can't confirm it, because, as I have said it, I play on the Disorder side, and secondly, I'm not a social butterfly, so they can't insult me if I don't say anything. Though I have found so many helpful people on the Disorder side, so a piece of advice, only for those who would want to try this game out. Join to the Disorder side. We have more or less a chill community, which actually is quite helpful. So give it a try, and if you give it a try, join us. You can also play with orcs, the Norska people. I don't like Norska people, but that's another story for another time. And Dark Elves, the Daughters of Cain. So yeah, check it out, guys. I highly recommend you guys. It's free to play, so you don't lose anything. So yes, guys, for Cain. And blood for the blood god. Number 6, Guild Wars 2, a game with good graphics, nice visuals, and amazing gameplay, and an exceptional story, and with expansion that you will only need to buy if you are interested in the story, but otherwise it's free to play. Fun fact though, if you have played Guild Wars 1, you can import your files, which will give you rewards for your heroic deeds in the first game. It is a game which rewards you with experience points and sets, and you don't need to do anything else but just explore the world, and the world also levels with you. So if you like one story but you would need to go to somewhere else to level higher, well, here you don't have to do that. Instead, you get to keep playing, leveling and exploring wherever you want, because the world also levels with you. We have quite the interesting bunch for races as well, so it's amazing, and quite cool classes too as well. Now the fighting mechanics as well is quite top-notch, and something that, if for something, for this you definitely need to check this game out. It's also free to play, well, at least until the expansions, but you don't need to buy the expansions. You only need to buy them if you are interested in the story. But otherwise, this game is free to play, and if for nothing else, for the combat system, I highly recommend you to try this game out.